Hello, 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 everybody. All right, so we are live. Yeah, and we have audio. Sorry for that. Just checking because you know how it is, these days with, I don't know, Windows and stuff. But yeah, here we are. Welcome, welcome, everybody to the channel. And now I want to check if you can hear Franco. Franco, hello, hello. Franco is with us today.
Hello.
Let me
How's everyone
check.
doing?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Cool, 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 cool. So everything is working. Now I need to find out a way to show you. Right now you cannot see nothing, but if I do this and then that, now everybody can see you. All right. Hello, hello. How are you? Now you can see me twice. Maybe I should turn off this one, right? All right, cool, cool, cool. We're waiting for Elena today, and we are going to have a friendly, very friendly competition. It's not a competition, it's just, an exercise on how weird and, completely, down the hole of the madness of animating inside Unreal. That is going to be the theme for today. So we are going to start pinging Elena and see if she is all right and if she doesn't have um, any issues connecting. Hello. All right. Good. Good, good, good. So how is everything? How's been your week? Is there some people? All right. Yeah, yeah, right. You're there. Hello, hello. How are you? Can you hear us well? All right. Let me present you my colleague here. He is Franco Villanova. He lives here, in Buenos Aires. We are like friendly neighbors. We live like a couple of blocks, separated. And yeah, so how are you, Franco?
I'm doing okay. It's a little cold today, and I'm playing around with some chaos physics, trying to figure out the fields and whatnot, to see if I can get a proof of concept going for some animation in sequencer with it. Because now we have the chaos manager which lets us control the sims a little bit more. We can run them
Right.
backwards actually, which is pretty cool. So I'm trying to figure that one out because the official things cover the basics, so I need to go a little bit deeper.
All right. Have you tested that one out? Like I saw it on the, um, how it's called? The 5.2, presentation and stuff. But then I have never, looking into Discord. All right.
So as of right now, oops, I can share. I mean, while we wait, I can share that if you want.
Sure, sure thing.
Unless I screwed it up. No, I don't. I didn't. All right, so I'm gonna share screen here.
You should be able.
I am not able.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why these things are always set up with this little thing here that says that only one person can share at a time. And even though no one is sharing, you cannot share. All right, there it is.
I can
All
share
right,
now.
that
So
looks
as of right now, this is fairly simple. What I'm trying to get done is like a superhero landing effect. And as of right now, I have the just a
look at
simple,
that.
yeah, just a simple radial hit on the geometry here. So essentially, the big thing about the new one is that we now have the capability to record. Actually, I need to make sure that I'm recording the correct thing. So I can run the simulation once if my Chaos Cache Manager is set to record, and actually should have the correct collection here rather. So we set the collection, we set the members, we tell the manager which one is the one that should be observing, set it to record, and now we simulate. And yeah, we need to fix that a little bit. And now if we go back to the manager and we go to static pose, I should, yeah, now I have control over it here in
Right.
real time.
It's in a
And
cage.
yeah. And the amazing thing about this is that I can then run this into sequencer, which is the whole point of what I'm trying to do. If I run a chaos test and then I bring in my manager, not the actual piece, has to be the manager, which is already in here. I can then actually have keyframes. As you can see here, I literally have
Right.
telling it to proc. And the fun thing is that I can even have it go back to its original pose. So it goes back in time. So essentially we get this effect, which is really
Right.
cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. What I was just mentioning in 5.2 is the ability that you can also have like a record track to do all those kinds of stuff directly from sequencer. And you can use them for chaos, and you can also use them for Niagara. Hello, Elena. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Okay,
Good.
awesome.
Right,
I'm
here we
good. How are
are.
you?
I'm very well. So, this is a trap. No, it's not a trap. This is going to
It's a
be
trap.
a friendly competition. It's not going to be a competition. It's let's
Hi,
try
Franco.
to yeah,
Wow.
hello. So let's try to figure out how many ways does Unreal have to animate something into the engine. And I mean like any way, like the weirdest way that you can find out. And let's do like a list and run through the whole thing and see. And maybe for the most easy ones, we can showcase them. So Franco is showing right now one that is pretty amazing. This is very advanced, all right? This may be, at the last extreme of the line, and this is animating with chaos. So he is making a fracture, and he has a field that should interact with that fracture and enable it and make it perform, and you can animate it, all right, from baking it, right? So that should be like a way of animating inside Unreal for sure. And one of the weirdest
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah.
So he was just showing that the actual chaos cage have like different modes, and you have it to be record in the record mode, or it could be in play mode, right? And right now he already baked the thing, and now he's trying to make the actual chaos body to not move around when he simulates, right? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I'm sending in anchors, which should be stopping the simulation, the geometry cache from moving around as
Right.
we get the effect of, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So now we get the effect of the breakage, but we don't get movement on the edges of the mesh. So
Right.
the anchors are stopping the entire mesh from moving where it gets impacted by the force of the field here. And this is exactly the effect I was looking for. My idea was to attach, like the whole point of what I'm trying to do is to attach this to a character and then have it land and punch the ground. But I need to do a little bit more research, because as of right now, my understanding is not enough to make this work with the trigger way of activating this. Right now, I know how to delay it, which is pretty obvious that it works on tick, which means it will punch and punch and punch and punch and punch constantly. And then
Right.
the trigger, for some reason, is not really straightforward here. If I set this to trigger, I have nothing here to tell me how to trigger it other than this, which I exposed myself. This is not by default, and it's not
Right.
working. So I need to go in and figure out a little bit on how to trigger it, or just be cheeky and record this, then just match it to when the character actually falls on the ground, which is a perfectly fine way of doing this.
But in this real-time world, it's always good to to give directors and producers the option to have the thing on cue, right? You don't want to be, recording stuff. Maybe, he wants the thing to be a little bit, more spread, or, maybe a little bit earlier, or even, when you can do all that through sequencer. You're going to have to be moving a couple of things at a time. So you're going to be moving, the actual character animation, and at the same time, the fracture animation. You want just, to do a little bit of, change, right? Or it might be, that someone is, being captured by mocap, and that could be like a very nice thing to have. Like someone in mocap could punch something, and that something should break, live there. That would be like another cool stuff, right?
I wonder if I can be really cheeky here and do this. I should be able to.
Can you?
Sorry, I'm just going to a tangent. Whenever you want to stop me, just stop me.
do it. Socket that thing in the hand of that character and make him punch.
Doesn't like it.
Oh yeah, because the cage is the cage. Like the cage says that the thing should be on the ground and not on the wall.
It's because of no, these are not keyframes here. Yeah, it's so another thing that I noticed, and actually I got a question from one of my students, is if you are if you're simulating something, you have to put it where it's going to be. Playing around with the position of it or the scale of it will screw everything up the minute you move it. So this right here has to be.
What if you parent it? What if you parent it?
Just parent it to like an actor and then move the actor?
Yeah, because that should make the actual world position of the thing the same. So it won't mess with the actual simulation.
I could try that, yeah. But the thing is, it's not simulated anymore, and it's still breaking because it's no longer simulating because it's being recorded now. It was recorded. It's already recorded, so it's not simulating anymore. So if I now hit play here, see, it just snaps back to wherever it was.
Oh,
yeah, it doesn't like it at all. Has to be on wherever it was, and now it's already even worse because it's breaking my pivot point.
Right.
Making it super weird now.
Look at that.
Yeah. Look at where my pivot point
bugged out. Yeah.
That's
like that at all.
That's a bug for sure. All right, now.
Yeah.
Let's do one thing. Let's start with the easiest first, right? And then we jump to the harder stuff. All right. Okay. So allow me to. Now I should be in control of the screen. Yeah, I am. And you can check that out. Should I share my screen so you can get, like a more fluid thing, because, you don't want to see the delay, right? So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to be sharing this thing right here, right? And that's it. Now you should see in Zoom what I'm doing, more fluently, that what, people are going to be seeing online. So yeah, I was feeling a little bit nostalgic. I was talking about Paragon last night, and I remember that there is this thing. I wonder how would have been, the one to do this map. Like, all right, this is going to be the farewell, thing to Paragon. This is going to be the last map that we're going to be creating for that game, at least, on the side of Epic. And this is what it is, right? It's good. Now, let's start by creating text, right? Because it's going to be awful and dirty as everything in this channel. So let's create a text. And there it is, a text render actor. And we can set it down right there. We can point it a little bit, this way around. And let's call it ways you can animate stuff in Unreal. Yeah, this is going to be the list, right? So who wants to start? Let's start from the more obvious. All right, go ahead. All right, sequencer could be like what definitely it should be the first on the list, right? So that is as easy as, creating your asset, and you double click on it, and then you can add stuff, to as a track, and then you can start moving things. So it could be anything, right? Like a cube. And so, you can also do this thing. You can grab the cube and drop it directly on sequencer, and it will spawnable, by default. And now the thing is that it's pretty far. Whomever did this, he was not very centric aware. Yeah. So, all right,
I
now
think
we
there is a
have.
setting, like in the project settings, I think you can set that whenever you drag an object into the sequencer and make a spawnable out of it, it will just be spawned in front of your camera.
Oh, really? I want to know
Yeah.
about that. Do you remember the name of the thing? It should be in the editor preferences.
Most likely, probably.
Sequencer, maybe? Sequencer.
Wait, it was.
Let's
I found
go
it in
over
the documentation, so probably I can find it again.
sequencer toolbar.
Let me find it.
All right. So yeah, sequencer is the quintessential way of moving things around, for sure. And it was introduced like a long time ago in 4.16, and it was a complete revolution. It was like going from Marine, that was the usual thing that you used to animate with. Thank God that thing is no longer here with us, because it was completely bonkers. It was impossible, to move stuff with it. Even though a couple of very nice, short movies were created with it. For example, the Elemental demo. That thing is amazing. It was converted at some point to, because it is that good, that it was converted to sequencer. Where is it? It should be around here. But that thing was originally created, this one, Elemental demo. This thing is amazing. And it was done at the time with Marine. And what you can see, right, if you download it and you check it, it's going to be exactly the same, but with everything in sequencer. A kite and his boy was also, the boy and his kite, sorry, was also animated in Marine at the time. So yeah, this is, of course, the way of doing it, right? So yeah, this is the way to go. All right, now we have the first of many ways of making things move inside Unreal. So what could be another way? And we can, be thorough about this one, because I really want to have like a long list at the end of this thing. So let's write down the first candidate that should be sequencer.
And
all right.
Should be blueprints.
Blueprints, exactly. So let's write it down. Blueprints. But what blueprints? Normal, regular actors, right? So it should be blueprint actor. All right, that is another nice way of moving things around. Let's do it. Let's cover it like pretty fast and sweet. Let's create a new blueprint, an actor class. Double click on it. Let's create a component that should be anything. Our friend the cube could be good, right? And come on, cube, cooperate. And we can go either from, to the construction script or the event graph. Let's say that this is going to be blueprint event graph, all right? And let's drop, our friend the cube, and on tick, we are going to add rotation, local rotation. And let's connect this thing and just add like a couple of degrees. Maybe this is a lot. Maybe 1 degree, 5 degrees. It's going to be good enough. Let's compile, save, not close it because that is bad juju. You need to first test your stuff. All right, that's it. Now, if I hit simulate, we should have a rotating cube. So yay, we have the second way of animating stuff in Unreal Engine. Now, I have addition to this blueprint actor. So let me call it maybe, let me call it blueprint timeline. And I'm guessing most of you know what I'm talking about. It's almost the same, but it's a little bit better, right? Because it's not like as definitive as I need this thing to be rotating and yeah, forget about it, right? So it should be a little bit more elaborated. So when you need to do that kind of things, you don't rely on a tick, but you have like its own local timeline inside Blueprint. And this might, you know, sound bonkers, but it is what it is. So let's find here timeline. And the thing is that even though it's called timeline, it will show like every word timeline, and just at the end, you know, the actual node, it doesn't have a category. It doesn't have like, it's outside utilities. It's that weird.
It's the most intuitive menu ever.
Yeah, that's right. And the even, you know, the actual stuff is not, it's weird, right? So how this will work is you're going to have a timeline, and this timeline will have a curve, all right? And if you want to get the curve, you're going to have to double click on the thing. So yeah, it's weird. And once you are here, I should have a track here, but it's no longer there. Oh, they really changed this one a lot. So I'm guessing I need to, you know, create a new track, and it's going to be a float track because we're going to just rotate a thing, right? And that's it. Now we have track 0, and track 0 have a timeline, and it has a timeline from 0 to 2. I'm guessing this is going to be 2 seconds. Let's see if this is right. So if I middle click on this thing, all right, that's not a way of creating a new key. So now it's right click. Let me right click here.
Click, it says.
Shift left click. All right,
Yeah,
let me check that out.
At least that's what it says when you go over it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect. So now we have something that should start at 0 and should go to this value. And this value might be, you know, too small. So I'm going to do 360 because it's going to be like a full revolution, right? And now if I want all my keys to be in closure here, I need to, you know, fit the window here. So from 0 to 2 is going to go, you know, 360, right? And that's just the value, right? So now we have that track here. And that track we can now connect here, but I can because, you know, this thing wants to have, you know, a rotation socket, and I can split, you know, this thing. And now I can expose just the jaw, and now I can connect this thing here. And now I need to connect this to the, to nothing. Oh yeah, I need to actually update the thing. But the thing is that this is the wrong node because this will add, you know, a rotation. I need to set the rotation, right? So let's do it. Now, let me grab this and put set rotation. And it should be relative rotation, I believe. There is one that won't work and one that will work. Nope. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to split the struct and now connect these to that and these to that. And these should work, I believe. So let's see what would happen. Let me save everything. Let's look at this thing. And so my prediction is that it should go one way around in 2 seconds and then it will stop. So let's simulate. One way around, 2 seconds, it stopped. And that's it. So this is also, you know, a very powerful way of adding animations. Believe it or not, this is a good way of having, you know, something happen at a point. Do something, right? Like move it to the right, like opening a door or stuff like that. This is like the easiest way to control those kind of things. Now, that being said, these timelines are sequential, right? So that means that you can have plenty of those happening at the same time. And that is a thing that, blueprints are not good at. And that will make them very hard to render, right? So they're not very easy on the machine, right? So this is like a last resort. If you can't find any other way of doing this thing and you want to chip it out, like this is a way of doing it for sure. All right. So now we are back to you, Elena.
Okay, I have the other one, montage.
A montage. All right. So let's check it out. So a montage.
Oh, by the way, I found the product setting.
Oh, all right. Let's check it. Let's see if we go.
Okay, so it's under editor settings.
Project settings or editor preferences?
Editor preferences, I mixed them.
All right.
And then under general.
All right.
I think that's what it says. You should have something called spawn position. Maybe
if you look
for spawn position, you might find it. Spawn. Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
So right now it spawns at origin, but you can make it spawn in front of the camera. Yeah.
In front of a camera. But I mean, this might work for everything. I mean, now if I go, here, and I simply go cube, it should spawn right there in front of the camera. That will work for sequencer and for everything else. So this is wonderful, right? Yeah. Because, sometimes you don't want to go here and drag it and put it somewhere. But, the best thing that will happen is with actual sequencers, because that way we can grab something right out of here. And not only from here, but also, if you want to know, from actually here. So I can drag this and drop it here. And now it will create one right in front of the camera. That is so helpful. So helpful. So thank you so much, Elena. That was amazing.
I found it by luck and frustration.
All right. Yeah, that's a little bit Unreal experience, right? Most of the days.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But it's gonna get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to, right? Once we get to ChatGPT Unreal, then it's going to be a slippery slope.
For sure.
All right. So who's next? What's the next one?
It was montage.
All right. Yeah. So let me write it down so I don't forget. Montages. But wait, we do need actual animations for a montage to work, right?
That's true.
All right. But
too. Otherwise, we won't be able to make them up. I mean,
let's do it.
But it doesn't make any sense.
Let's do it. It's going to be fine. So let's right click, and montages are in the animation section and right here. So now we have montage, and we're going to be selecting some character that does have animations. It may be Bellica for sure. And now we have montage, and we can double click on that. And here it's like a mini sequencer, right?
Yeah.
All right. So how would you? I have never dabbled into this thing. I know that they exist. That's it. And I know that it's a way to create combinations of animations for a specific uses, right? Mainly in games, but it's awfully useful also for cinematics. To make things that will repeat a lot, like maybe like the start of a walk and the stop from walking, like those two are bound to happen like a lot, right? So how would you do one like that right here, like to start from standing still to walking?
Okay, so yes, that's the first thing you gotta do. You need to drag inside the timeline the walk.
All right, first the walk or the idle. All right, let me try it with the idle. So the hero select idle might work. So now I drop it right here, right? Or somewhere.
Probably you need to wait. Try to put it on the left. I haven't used this much either, but
All right. Let's see if we can.
I wanted to see you doing this, to be honest.
Oh, really? No, I'm the wrong person for animating things for games. I do animate a lot for, cinematics, but for this thing, how weird should this be?
Maybe. What about we need to add a montage section on the right?
Here, right?
The animation asset browser. It's more, when you're selecting the animations, right? On the right, bottom right.
Right.
Then you have montage sections above.
Oh.
The other tab.
All right, right here.
So
we need to create default. Oh, we have one here already.
This is Animation Tuesdays trying to understand montage.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a way of animating. Let me just check and see montage, because I'm sure that we're going to have plenty of those with these characters, and we can learn, how they did it. So we have like attack primary, double shot fire. Let's see this one. Let's see how it works. All right, so this is exactly what it's doing. So it does have a default group, and it does have like an animation attached to it, right? And it will show you in this tiny weird screen for some reason, right? Exactly what it's doing. And this one in particular is not mixing it with another with another animation. Like what it's doing is these notifiers. Like this is why it's being used as a montage, not to mix two animations, but to actually set these possible exits. So what this could happen is that you could trigger the combo more than once, right? So this will allow you to not spawn the animation every time you click on the button, right? But it will have to wait until you get there, and then it will start the double fire again, right? So this is exactly what would happen normally. Like it will twin blast, right, like that, and then it will wait till the end to do it again. But you could have like a save attack. So that means that at some point before it will start, doing the actual animation, it will get out of this animation and play another thing. So that's also a very useful thing to do. For example, many people uses this thing to actually jump, to do something as silly as jumping. And that is because it's one of those animations where, humans tend to never jump with both feet at the same time. So they will try to jump with the front feet always, right? So that way you can use this and set on your walk or run, like which foot is down at that point. And depending on which foot is down, you could have like two, like a set of jumpings, one from walking and one from running, and one from one foot and the right foot. So this is like a good way of doing that. So yeah, for sure. Again, you can
also take the notifiers in the animation blueprint. So if you put that montage in an animation blueprint, then you can, I guess, call the notifiers and like do something when that notifiers happen.
For example, in this case, they are using it to play a particle system, like right there. You see?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is another way of creating animations inside Unreal montages. So the list is growing. Let's see how far can we get before we reach 1 hour. So Franco, now is your turn. What could be another way of adding animations inside Unreal?
Physics.
Physics, that's right. Physics is one of those, fun ways of adding animation. And, the physics engine inside Unreal has not changed for a long time, even though we now have like this mixture between, chaos and non-chaos physics. Like chaos is, taking more and more, the space of physics animation, right? So by that, let's create a couple of these dudes right here. So let's create a cube. And this is the first rule of using physics. Always give it a little nudge. Because if you don't, the thing will animate like completely in a dumb way, for sure. And so now let's click another one and another one. I have not tested if this thing has collisions, this particular map, but we're going to test it like pretty soon and see if this thing will work or not. So let's do this. And now let's select all these cubes and duplicate it once more. Because yeah, if you're going to animate with physics, you better make it worthwhile, right? Because that's it. Now we're going to select all those things. Yeah, let's try it. Why not? Those are cubes. They should have like very, very easy collision shapes. So now let's turn enable physics and let's simulate. Or no, there is nothing that resembles a collision. So that was a cool animation. I'm guessing like there are colliding with foliage and stuff like that, but this plane does not have any sort of collision. All right, so what to do? Let's hide a plane. So let's set up an actual plane like this. Always fake it in this, when you're talking about physics, don't start, trying to make everything bounce from very complex shapes with many vertices and stuff like that, because that is a one-way ticket to madness. Right now, let's hide it just like that, and let's see how this will work. So play, and not that good either. All right. It's better, but not the best. So I'm wondering if this had to do with the actual, let me put this thing up there. Oh, look at that. It went through. So maybe,
Is it
maybe.
Block?
They should be by default blocking on everything, like block all. It is default, but that should be block all. I'm guessing is a thing because the way that it's doing that, it may be a thing with the the interpolation of the animation. Like it doesn't have enough samples, right? And the thing is going through. So what I'm going to try to do is, instead of using a plane, I'm going to use a cube, because that should give it a little bit more time to actually find out that there is a thing hidden. The actual, let me test it like this and make it, big and big. And now, what is happening? You know what might be happening? What might be happening is that there is something around here that has this huge collision volume, and the things are already colliding, with that. So maybe, and this is just me.
Volume inside, you think?
No, maybe there is one of these shapes that has this silly side of collision.
Yeah.
No, that is not the case. So this thing is so Franco, your way might not be a thing anymore. Maybe this thing is bound to be working just with chaos, and this way, you know what? I use it like very recently, so that's why I think it's this particular map. So I'm going to do one thing. Let's see.
And the cubes are set to
test it on an empty. It's probably gonna work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird that it doesn't work.
Yeah. So let's paste it here. And of course, it's going to be way over there. All right, and now let's set these here and let's simulate. Now it works like a charm
Wow.
for some weird reason. It might need a little bit of a, this, right? To make it a little bit more interesting. And here they go. So yeah, for sure. And again, things like the actual animation of the, of the simulation can be animated through sequencer. So that should give you a lot more cinematic events, right where you need them. And that takes me back to me, maybe. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Like I should be the next one to exactly. Oh, you know what? I completely didn't save the
No.
list.
So we need to rewrite them.
All right. So let's rewrite it like very fast. Let's go here and let's go text. That's it. And now it will appear right in front of me. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's start. Sequencer. And then it was blueprint.
Blueprint actor.
Print actor. And then it was, blueprint timeline. And then it was montages. And now it is physics. And I will add take recorder. Take recorder. Recorder. That's it. And of course, this thing is pointing the wrong way around. That's it. This is what we have right now. Let me set it all nice and well to the side, like this. And we have the blueprint guitar and the montages and the physics, right? The Pisces. All right, amazing. The guitar, I'm going to leave it like it is. All right, so take recorder. Let me see if I have, it should be right here. So if we go Windows, Cinematics, take recorder, and let me show you how this thing will fail. Maybe it will fail because I don't know, the last time I tried this, because everything is named cube, it might not like it, but let's see if that works. So I might not need that last one, and I'm going to add all those sources, right? And I can do it like this, a lot easier. And I'm going to set these up as I like it, right? Because it might be as I like it, but because this is my other computer, it might not be. So first thing is I don't want these to be recorded into a subscene. I don't like that. And I'm guessing like that, that's it. There might be another thing that I don't like about this thing, but yeah, that's the primary thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, the time code thing is also awful. Like this is best to have always at the start. And that's it. Now I should be able to, so this is the thing. If I first click here and then click there, it will stop this. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's actually doing it.
No, it's just saving it. But it's just saving.
Yeah, exactly. So
it looks like you just saved it. Yeah.
It stopped the actual thing from happening. So that's the thing. When we do this, so now I'm recording. So every time I hit simulate, it will stop the actual recording. So to prevent that, what we can do, and this will have to wait till this thing crash. No, it didn't crash. That's good. So what I'm going to do is to, in the actual pending take, I will animate all these cubes like this. And I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to use a technique. I'm going to add only one cube. And from this cube, I'm going to set physics on, right? And at some point, they are going to be off like this and key it. So there will start being physics animated like around here. And then what I'm going to do is to select the rest of all these cubes, but the last one, because that is the little floor there. And I'm going to right click on the actor track and I'm going to add selected. And this now it's going to be like this one track actor that will hold the animation of all these dudes. Oh, but you know what? Yeah, I need to delete the transform track because it will apply the actual transform of that particular actor to all of them. So now it should work. So now if I hit, so the only thing that I really need to do now is to hit simulate and then hit record. 3, 2, 1, it will start. And they're going to simulate and they're all now going to be recorded. And of course they did horrible at recording. Yeah, it's so bland. But yeah, that's it. So that is tape recorder. So you can make, complex movement and look at the amount of things that this thing is saving. So that means that I should be able to watch the last thing that we recorded because they're all, done with spawnables, right? So you can see the whole thing happen all over again.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, these spawnables, no, they don't have simulate physics by default. So this is smart about this thing. Even though the original had the simulate physics on, the copies, the spawnable copies does not have simulates on by default, which is, it's like it created like a new cube without that part. So that is amazing. So now that means that we can get rid of, all our original cubes. And that it's a lot easier said than done. And yep, we can grab all these, delete it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Everything is good. Oh, it delete also the last one. I might want this one. So that's it. Delete. Be gone. Be close. And yeah, that's it. Now we can go to our cinematics folder. Takes this thing. Take 2, I guess. And that's it.
There we go.
So take recorder, the
Tofu cubes falling down.
15th way of, doing animations inside Unreal. So I want more. I want at least one more round before we end. So who's next? It's you, Elena.
I'm next. I would say Flipbook.
Flipbook.
Yeah.
All right, now you really, really kill me. I don't know if that thing is still.
I know that it is because I was trying it this week with some students, some 2D animation students.
Right.
We could like conglomerate that answer and say materials maybe.
Right.
But there is
That's
also
right.
the Flipbook itself. Like there is a Flipbook
for 2D
actor.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's different from a material.
Yeah.
Like if you go into the blueprint class,
there is a node inside materials that is called Flipbook, but there is also an actual asset that is called Flipbook.
Yeah.
Oh, not IP, like flip. There it is. Paper Flipbook is the actual name of the thing. All right, so now I'm completely at a loss. So
there you go.
does this thing work with sequence, right? So you need a sprite. So I'm sure that we have, smoke or something here. Yeah, I do have this thing. No, this
Oh,
this
that
thing
one, that
for
one.
sure.
After, yeah, yeah. But the
Right.
thing is that, okay, wait, you need to, so can you open the texture that is
Yeah,
responsible for that smoke,
this
actually?
one. Oh,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
added a material, but not the actual texture. The texture should be this one right here. So I should add here the, oh, it's a material. All right, so that's good.
Not even.
So
I think you just need to, okay, wait. Okay, so open the texture, like not, don't open it, but open it in the content browser.
like
Now,
here.
yeah, yeah. Actually, we need just the content browser. Just
Oh,
like
oh, all right.
yeah, we need to
So
change.
like
Okay.
this.
Yeah, so right click and then sprite actions,
Oh, look at that.
apply paper 2D texture settings, which will just make sure that it's like formatted okay. And then
All right. Save it.
save it. And then go back to the content browser,
Oh, all right.
actually. And right click and sprite actions. And extract sprites. Okay.
There it is.
And then this is basically an analyzer of the sprite. So on the right, on the sprite extract, you know, it's
All right.
under auto. Oh, let's see if it works. Usually you need to put it as a grid, but that's okay.
Oh, all right. So instead of auto, we should have changed that one to another thing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
But it might
All
have
right.
done it. Yeah, it's just that probably the scale, maybe it's working already like this. It looks like it could be working. So now right click on these guys all together.
All right.
Yeah.
Create a
Create
flipbook. And that's
There you
it.
go.
Now we have
yeah. Double click.
now if I open this up, I can see it right there happening. All right.
There is one
Wonderful.
frame that is wrong. I think the last frame.
Yeah, it's like glitching. But
I mean, the ones at the bottom, these white bars, those are the keyframes.
that's all right. How now can I apply this somewhere?
We need to create a blueprint flipbook. So in
All right.
the blueprint class with right click.
Blueprint class, and let's go all class. Search for flipbook.
Yeah.
Paper flipbook actor. Now this, I thought that you were going to say something like control rig animation or something like that. New flipbook. But no, this thing is bonkers. All right. Let me drop
now you
it.
just need to assign it in the blueprint actor.
Oh, here inside?
Yeah. And then you have the render component. And
All
there
right.
you have the source flipbook. You see under sprite?
Right.
There you go.
All right. So it's this one.
Ooh. Okay. Perfect.
And all right. Now you can see it there. So this is from another era, right? This is where, we needed sprites, for this thing. Does it points always to the camera? No.
No, it's not that fancy.
Oh, I can see it.
But you can make it fancy. But
I mean, for sure. So what would be the exact case scenario here, to make it, like I'm betting because it's a sprite, it should be like awfully easy to render, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah, the only issue that I had with this, when I tried to show it to the 2D animators, is that I didn't know how to control it from the sequencer.
Oh, all right.
It keeps on looping and you don't know when it starts and you don't know when it ends. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a thing, right? To have it a lot of control on when this thing should happen. And even though it's a blueprint, it is
the animation.
yeah. Even as a blueprint, it's weird. So I'm guessing if you create some sort of sequencer, it will laugh in the face of it. Oh, you have like a play rate, but that's not really. So you could like pause it, at some point, like set it to 0, and that should pause it. And then you should be able to maybe at some point like make it 1 again. But this should be constant. Exactly. So it should be paused, and this should be also a constant. So it should be paused, and then at some point, blum.
Oh yeah. It was so easy. I went into like event notifiers and stuff.
No, I'm work around the stuff. That's how I play. But the bad thing is that we completely budget when we create it. So the first frame is the full thing. So it might be, great. If we create like a nice one, and then use it this way. That's amazing. I'm learning, with this thing for sure. All right. Thank you for this very, very bizarre way of doing this. So this is the take recorder. All right. Take recorder. That's right. So we do have sprites. No, flipbook. Flipbook actor and asset and everything that has to do with flipbook. All right. You have one more, Franco.
Materials.
All right. Materials. But, there are many things that you can animate with materials, but there are a few ways of make them actually animate. All right. So let's check what is on your mind in that regard. So let's close this wacky thing. Yeah. You are a crash waiting to happen.
Yes.
All right. And let's create.
You asked for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like we want bizarre. We got bizarre for sure. All right. So material. So what's on your mind, Franco?
Oh, I mean, through the world position offset, we animate the vertices, and this works for a lot of things, super high complexity things, and then super low complexity things. What we see the most are foliage, for example.
Oh, all right. So foliage could be one of those because they do have like these automatically, sway of stuff with the wind node, right? But I'm guessing that wind node is an actual material function. And if you open it up, like this is where all the magic happens, right? The only way of actually doing animations inside material is this node. Like this is what is going to give you that, tick of the thing and how it should move and what it should do. And then you gotta find, a way of actually, like this thing is fairly simple. I'm guessing it has to do something with vertex coloring, right? So it's switching between one color and another because it's multiplying one by the other one. So this thing is a little bit weird, but we can create something, fairly easy. First thing, of course, time, right? And if we want time to do actually something, instead of going from 0 to, whatever, we wanted to control something that could be cyclic, right? So one of the way of creating cyclic things is to use a scene, right? And I don't know if it is right like that. It should be in mathematics. So where is mathematics here? There is no mathematics.
Math. There is math.
Math. All right, there it is. Yeah. Exactly. Now we need. So a cosine could also work. It's actually the exact same thing, but the opposite. So a cosine is a flux, all right? It will go from 0 to 1 and then to 0 and then to 1 and then to 0. So if we already check how this will look in real time, no, not in real time, start previewing the node, you're going to see that that is exactly what it does, right? It goes from 0 to 1 to 0 to 1 to 0 to 1. And this thing is in seconds, right? So this is like riding the wave, right? And in 1 second, I'm guessing like this thing goes to from 0 to 1. And then in 1+ second, it will go from 1 to 0, right? So if you want this thing to be a little bit faster or slower, you need to also use math. So you can multiply these by a factor. And because all multiplications are factors, then you can make it double the speed or half the speed if you go lower than 1, right? So if you go 0.5, then this thing is going to be, a little bit smooth, right? Going that way. So now that we have this cosine working, what we need is to have some sort of lerp, right? So we want these, we don't want to be using, these from 0 to 1, like only 2 colors. Like from here, we can start creating like 2 different colors. So this one could be, yellow. Let's go with the color of the theme, right? And this one could be cyan, like this, very bright cyan. And I'm going to have a seizure before the end of this, but yeah. Let's go lerp. So this is a linear interpolate node, and this will interpolate from A to B, being 0, A, and when this is 1, it's going to be B. And the actual alpha is going to be controlled by this cosine, right? So if I want to be sure that this thing won't go, nuts with, this thing, I gotta make sure that I'm capping this. So this should be it's not called cap, it's called clamp. So I'm pretty sure that this thing is going from 0 to 1. And that's it. Now we can connect this to our base color, and we are going to stop previewing this node. And now we should have this. So this thing going from one color to another. And again, I'm just animating like a color because it's the easiest way to go around. But this, with what Franco was saying, that with the WPO, the world position offset, you can start, adding twists and, rotation or movement to stuff with just, a little bit of time. But this is like the magic bullet here. Like this is the way that we can use to animate something. All right. Amazing. So maybe there is only one more that we can do, right? And I don't want to go, too bizarre on this one. So let's see what can we use. We already use, let's check the list. So we have physics, we have sequencer, we have maybe actor blueprint. Animation blueprint should be one of the most apparent, yeah. Right? Or maybe let's even go further to actual control rig. So I should have a control rig here.
They're both
in character.
Like the fundamentals, I would say, of animation, right?
Yeah. Let's go even easier than that, because maybe control rig, might be a thing, because you can also do procedural animation inside control rig. So if you maybe, let me duplicate this one right here, right? And maybe I should start one from scratch and not yeah, why not? Let's do it. It should be easy, right? How hard can it be? So let me right click on this Mani Simple, and let's go create and create a control rig for it. And now we have it here, and we should be able in the forward solve to actually grab anything, like the pelvis could be good, get bone, and now we can no, it should be set bone. Sorry. Let's set this bone to an actual position or rotation, right? Let me open the value and let me open, there is no way of, opening the rotation, but I know that there is, how is it that I can do animation here? Let me just remember. There is no time. There is add rotation. Let me see, add. But this will add a thing with another. Maybe I totally forgot how to do this and I'm just trying to.
What do you want to do?
There is a way to animate inside here to do procedural animation, but I can't remember the node. Animation, curve, that could be a one, right? Let's see. All right, there it is. So, all right, I cannot connect these to, all right, let's do one thing. I'm not going to double into this one. I'm going to do like a proper video on how to maybe move like wings and stuff like that. This is the way to do it, but I can't remember how to do it. So the actual output of these might be transformed into one of those, but I cannot remember. So I'm going to go with an easy one to, end up the streaming. And that is going to be the actual skeleton, oh my God, tab on the skeletal mesh editor, right? And from here, we can create a couple of things, like we can create assets. And one of those assets could be create an actual animation. And let's create an animation from the current pose. And let's, call it, let's go to content. And this is going to be like new anim. And that's it, right? And it's like a one frame animation, which is silly, but we can right click on an empty space here and we can append, more frames at the end, right? And that is insert like this. No, that's one way, but we can append at the end and that will give us like a number. So this could be like a 60 frame animation, right? And now it's as easy as, grabbing, maybe the pelvis and creating a key for that pelvis. And now I can, move forward in time. And I can now, rotate this character a couple of, all right, a couple of rounds. And now I can key again. And now, all right, this might be an issue because of the way this thing works. But let me go here and now I can grab this value and set it to 360. That might be more than enough. Now, if we go back here, right, that's it. And now if I save this is going to be a complete new animation for this character. So we can create animations from sequencer by doing keys, and we can also create animations on the skeletal mesh editor, right? Which is also bonkers, right? To be able to do this without having to bake to an animation sequence or something, we're truly animating in a forward key, kind of way. But yeah, this is going to be the last one here. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we got to even the half of the ways that you can animate inside Unreal. So this is going to be the editor, the skeletal mesh editor.
Oh, I think I understood why sorry, I was looking at like the procedural animation. I think I understood why your curve couldn't be plugged anywhere is because I think you needed an input. And once you put an input, it kind of defines the output. If you put a float, then it's going to be a float output to the curve.
Oh, should we try it as a bonus track? Let's see.
As a bonus track.
So let's create
a variable, like
a variable right here. So let's make it a float. That's it. Now we can drag this, drop it there, get it. Connect this here.
Oh, but what if you create a curve out of that variable?
All right, let's try it. So let's go here and now let's hit curve. Set curve, evaluate curve. All right, so this is working, right? And now the result is this thing. Now let's connect it maybe on Z. So, all right, so now it's dropping down. So that means that it should,
you will still need to probably move the sign. You think with a sign it's gonna move, Franco? I see Franco doing like
it's just a constant line. It will change to a value and that's it.
Right, but all right, now it won't. I need to go back into the ages of this stuff, and we could do it together. Like, why not? It's not on this machine, so let's go back in time, because now I'm wondering if I just dream about it. So let's go here, Epic Games, Fellowship,
sine and cosine,
and teaching. Let's go all the way back to UE4 .26, and at some point there should be performance capture. Nope, it should be control rig, cinematic, live link, animation retargeting, and crowds. What? No, control rig. Here it is. So if we open these up, we should for sure, and I'm going to go really fast with this thing. Oh, it's this one. No. Sequencer animation? No. IK control? Nope. Creating a pole vector? Oh, maybe I need to go. Oh, here it is. Custom curves. Delta time is the name of the stuff. Let's test it.
the stuff.
Yeah, I know that I didn't dream about it.
But
so
you typed time and you couldn't find it. That's weird. Didn't you type
Delta?
Time? Oh,
there it is. Delta time. Can I search for time? Oh yeah, but there are like 10,000 of those. It's the first one. But now, what would happen? Would you follow this thing?
Maybe it's just the minimum and maximum.
Yeah, huh? we need to tell it to time and then value, right? There has to be like an oscillation.
Right, but maybe it's like too small. Like it's doing like a 1. So maybe it should be source maximum and target maximum like 10 or something like that. Nope. All right. Let me go back and check it.
So if you just input the delta to the...
Here it is.
Z, does it do anything?
Oh, right. It's called evaluate curve. That's what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And then it is 0 to 1. And now we can do this. And that is going to be on the weight of an offset. So it should be working by now. Huh. Maybe I should.
What are we doing? The forward or the construction event?
Oh, this is the forward. So this should be doing. Now it's red.
Yeah.
So the forward solve.
Okay.
Oh, I can see it move. I can see it move. It's doing it. All right, so maybe this value should be a lot higher than that, because now it's going from 0 to like almost nothing. So let's go 20. Oh, there it is. It is working. Now it's going to be back at 0, and then it's going to, yeah, it's going to just do that, like from. And these tiny things are so hard. Right, there it is. And now it should, yeah. It should be like more like this. And can this be like an auto? It is. Now, like it's happening in just 1 second. So maybe this thing should be like time 10 and this should be like time 5. Now let's compile. And it's trying to do something. Let's call it an animation and be
It's
done.
having a seizure, basically.
You know what? The actual size of this is... You see that the actual size of the curve is like really small? Like maybe this has to do with that? Like these should be like 20 as I... These 20 also? Would these be... Oh, I do have like a separate thing here. Compile. Would you move? Now it's now it's not working. So let's keep it 1 and 1 as it was before. Compile. Shake. Shake. Come on.
We broken.
Yeah, it's completely
But
broken
is-
now.
Oh yeah, because they're changing the value. Isn't it like we need to maybe multiply the delta time to something to increase the value itself?
I think this should have like a...
Because it's 0.01.
Like this, the sample of the graph is like very small, and I don't know how to grab it and make it, longer. Well, let's say that, him doing this silly dance up and down, it's an animation. But yeah, if you had like a, I don't know, like a dragon or like a little fairy that should have, wings on its back, and you want them to constantly, be doing something like this, this should be the way to go. Again, you can also set booleans here that you're going to be able to use as a control in the control rig, so you can start and stop the animation, at some point. So that way you can have like a curve animation inside the control rig that then you can control through sequencer, which is, I have always found it like very, very useful, to say the least, right? To do all sorts of things, like maybe like rotating the wheels of a car, or doing something that should be procedural. Like this should be like a very easy way of doing it.
That's pretty cool. I didn't
Yep.
know about this actually.
Yep. So let's drop our dude here. And let's see how he does. There it is. He is already vibrating of excitement. There he is. He's like jumping up and down. Very...
We're very subtle animation.
Oh, it does it? Like, and then it stopped?
Oh,
Do it. I'm like the meme of the dude poking the thing with the stick. Like, do it. No, that's it. Oh, that's it. That's the whole thing for, this time around. So let's go here. Let's stop the sharing. And I want to thank you both. This year is the animation year of Unreal, and we should keep doing this Animation Tuesday.
I've got it with Chaos if you guys want to take a look at it. It's
All
like
right,
yeah.
20
Sure.
seconds.
show it.
You've been working on this until now. Show
Yeah.
us, show us.
Right.
Look
so
at that.
Screen. Will you share that into? Oh, there we go. And boom.
That's
Man.
it. Oh,
Woo.
this is Sparta.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And a couple of things I noticed. First and foremost, the camera shakes by default are really cool. This one's just default. It's a Berlin noise default. And the other thing I've noticed and I loved about this is, take a look here at the breakage. Lupin takes over the whole almost instantly, and it looks so good. Like the illumination inside, the GI inside the breakage.
Put a light on the other side and turn off a little bit the directional light.
You want to what?
Put a
light going through. Like
yeah. Put a point light on the other side.
Oh, okay. Like a point light, not just the directional light through. Okay.
Yeah.
like a spotlight.
Something like this.
Yeah, and turn off the actual directional light.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, yeah, boy.
All right, and now we should have.
Boom. Yeah.
All right.
Man, this is crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool how Lumen is taking care of the inside of the hole super quick.
Right.
It's
Right.
really
Right.
cool.
All right.
It's
All
cool.
right.
It's actually, once you get it done, easy to set up in sequencer and both in the simulation, because this is not simulating, this is reading off the cache. It's very finicky and it does not like you moving the object once it's done. I am now forever married to this frame and I will no longer be able to move this ever again.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So yeah.
So you're not firing this from the sequencer directly. You're doing this. So this is not like some kind of Niagara sim. It's a cached simulation, right?
It's weird. It is the cache manager who's here, which is not the object. It's like a separate blueprint that's observing the object through this collection, and the object is right here. But it's not this. I'm not adding this to sequencer. I'm adding the manager, and I'm adding the start time of the manager. As you can see, there's keyframes here, and that's it. But I'm not adding the actual geometry to the sequencer.
So it's like presets of fractal, like a breakage of walls.
Yeah, it's like a player, essentially. It's like playing the simulation for me.
Yeah, but in another mesh, would it work the same? So if you put like a cube there, would it still?
It's observing, it can observe several. Right now, it's only observing this one.
Okay, I got you.
I could go and record another one and then put this one, and then it will run both of them. At that point, I'm not sure how stable that's going to be, because it would mean recording this one again. So I don't know if I would create another manager instead, and then have that separate manager for each of the simulations.
Gotcha. The cache collection is linked to the mesh.
Yeah, this is done automatically. It makes it once you click on a collection and then you go to actor.
Chaos. Yeah, it's no longer a mesh. Now it's its own actor, its own asset that is called a collection, a geometry collection.
Yeah, which is different from this, which is also thing. So you have things everywhere.
Yeah.
There's this thing, then there's this thing, then there's this thing, and then there's a manager in your level.
Right.
Like 3 different assets to get the result. And then you have the anchors, of course, and then you have the impact force, which is what I was using to create the actual force that moved the thing, right? The move the wall, with the arrows pointing towards the wall, etc., etc. Yeah.
So it looks simple, but it's actually not.
It's simple, but it has many steps, essentially.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah, look into this.
Yeah, well, hooray for having things that are deterministics, right? Things that we can, actually control in time. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Super control, right? Out of even simulations and stuff. That's amazing.
Thanks for showing this.
You could even break it into several, maybe 2 or 3 hits. Like the first hit should only like crack it. The second hit could go even further. And then the third one should go all the way.
Yeah, having the control to do this real time is insane.
Yeah.
This right here, it's nuts. It's so responsive. Like, it's super cool.
Exactly. And apparently, at least how they sold Chaos at the first time, it is fairly easy to render and, CPU friendly, in that sense. Like the original gameplay with Chaos was madness. It was like destroying a full city with, particles and stuff, and everything was procedurally breaked and happening in real time. that was madness at that point.
Mhm.
But it's nice to have it back, right? Because for a long time, Chaos was on its own version, right? You had like 426 Chaos and 427 Chaos, as a separate thing that you had to download and compile to make it work. So now it's finally nice to have it, to play in the mainstream version of Unreal. All
They're
right.
asking in the chat, Franco, if time dilation would work with the cache.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It should.
It should work.
Time dilation. That's a horrible thing to ask, and time dilation is a horrible track to use, but okay.
Yeah, I hate it because it is like a global thing, and because you now have like a actual play rate, you can do your own slow motion, on the thing. Again, the slow motion will only happen on the actual track that you're, actually playing with the play rate, but not the animation of the guy, hitting the wall. But yeah, if you want like a full bullet stop type of effect, like, yeah, the time dilation track is a good way of going. There it is.
It is working, yeah. It goes in and kickaroo.
Open the door, woman.
Yeah, you could actually use this to like figure out that the animation is wrong here, so I should be breaking a little earlier. So you could use that to do that too.
Yeah.
And now we'll delete this. And now boom. Boom. All right, cool. Yeah, it does work.
Thanks.
All right. Amazing. All right. So I need to cut this one right now because tonight is going to be a horrible night. It's not horrible. It's horrible for my voice because I'm going to have like 3, back-to-back hours of mentoring. So I want to save a little bit for the end of the day. So first of all, I want to thank you both, for being here today in Animation Tuesday. Thank you so much for coming. And let's hear it, from the chat. I know everybody loves Elena and loves Franco for sure. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. All right.
Thank you
And
for
as
being here.
usual, yeah, be good. And we love you all. And we will be catching you on the next one. Let's make it, very soon. All right.
Yes. See you soon.
Cool. Thank you all. And
Bye-bye.
bye. And that's it.